Hi babes, welcome to my channel and welcome to a new video. So today's video is going to be an in-depth video on how to contour and highlight your face. This video is going to be so detailed, beginner friendly and all that, so let's just get right into the video. First off, my lips look ashy, so ashy, and we don't want that over here. So first off, I'm going to just apply some foundation to my face because this is like the base to any makeup you're going to do, and just blend this out quickly with a brush. So my foundation is on. Now, contouring and highlighting basically is adding dimensions back to your face. You can see because I applied foundation, my face is just like one blank canvas. It is quite flat. It brings light to the places that are naturally light, on light naturally hits, and it brings shadows to the places where we naturally have shadows on our face. That is the essence of highlight and contour. Highlighting and contouring can be quite tricky, especially if you're a beginner, because you see people doing these techniques where they just draw a straight line and draw here and draw here and draw here and draw here. So now, to highlight your face, all you need is a concealer that is 2 to 3 shades, or if you're a beginner, maybe 1 shade lighter than your skin tone. I'm not a beginner. I like to use a concealer that is at least 2 shades lighter than me to really, see the effect of the highlight. Because if I use a concealer that's like my skin tone, that is basically doing the same thing as my foundation. That is concealing. It is not highlighting. According to your face shape, you want to bring back light to the place where light naturally hits on the face. So now for me, this is my forehead, my nose, my chin, and underneath my eyes. So these are the places where light naturally hits the center of our face, basically. So these are the places where we're going to be highlighting. So now you're going to take your concealer that's at least 2 shades lighter than you, and then you're going to start. I like to start from my under eyes first. So I'm going to start here like this, and then here, tip of my nose, my forehead, obviously, yeah, my chin, and then my cupid's bow. So these are the places where light naturally hits on our face. It's very obvious. Also, our brow bone is somewhere that light naturally hits, but if you conceal your brows or you clean up your brows with concealer, it's basically doing the same thing. You can choose to go in, with your concealer and just lighten this up. But you can see these are the places that are projected, places that I want to project on my face. Then your contour should be at least 1 or 2 shades darker than your skin tone. I like to use a foundation stick or a contour stick. You can also use the same concealer you use to highlight your face, a darker shade of it, or a darker shade of foundation to contour your face. I personally prefer using foundations because they are very easy to blend. The places you're going to contour are places where you naturally have shadows. They're places you want to remove focus from. Basically, those are the places that you're going to contour. So now the main places you contour are your cheekbone. To contour my cheekbone, I like to start from the top of my ears, so right here like this. Yeah, this is where I like my contour to be. You can take it a notch and take it up if you want, but for the basics, you want to start from here like this. So I like to be really light-handed with my contour, so we're going to start also from here, the top of my ears, basically. Then for people that have like a double chin or that are a little bit fuller around their jawline, you can also go ahead to contour your jawline like this. This is just going to like sculpt it, and when this place is a little bit darker and there is a shadow there, it actually removes attention from it. Like, so people are more focused on the other places of your face that are projected than the places that have shadows. And also I like to contour my hairline a little bit because my forehead is a little bit big. I don't think I have much of a forehead, but I just like to, contour the little one I have just to bring back dimension to my face. So light naturally hits this place, this part of my forehead, the front of my forehead, and then my hairline area is a little bit darker. So if your forehead is really small, you might not need to do this. You can totally skip this step. It is optional. Now for my nose, the reason why me personally I like to contour my nose is to bring back dimension, and not just to make it look smaller, but to just bring back dimension to my nose and make it more defined. Here basically is to make my nose more defined. That is the main reason why I contour my nose. Not because I want a pointed nose. I can never have a pointed nose except I go for surgery. My nose is pretty flat, yeah, and I don't mind it, but I just like to add a little bit of dimension to it on my face. For my nose contour, I like to use an angled brush, a small angled brush just like this. So I like to take my contour from here. I don't like to, just go straight to my nose with this contour stick. When it becomes too heavy, I might put too much product, which we don't want. You want to start with little instead of starting with too much product and then finding it hard to blend. So I'm just going to take some here like this. And then I'm going to draw like a Y shape, just like this. Yeah, and bring it down my nose. So just like this. And then also the tip of my nose, I like to define it a little bit. So you can see just like this. I bring my contour to my brows as well, to the top of my eyebrows or the front of my brows to, just add a little bit more dimension. Now you can see how my face looks. My contour is really subtle. I don't like to go too dark, like I said earlier. So this is what my face is looking like now that I have added this product to these places. So now we are going to blend. I like to use the same brush I used to apply my contour and just clean off the excess on the brush and use this same brush to blend that to the nose contour. So I'm just going to blend really gently. You don't want to blend too much. And if your contour stick is not blending softly or blending easily, maybe you need to get a new one. Maybe the one you're using is too dry or too matte, which you don't want. So I'm going to blend. And try to be very careful so you don't touch the concealer in the middle of your nose. So I'm going to just gently do this. Now my nose doesn't require much blending because I already, using a brush to apply it is basically like doing part of the blending already. So I like to just go over just like this, really lightly with a very, very light hand and blend. So that is it for here. I'm going to blend the tip as well. Then to blend the rest of the contour of my face, I like to use a foundation brush, the same foundation brush I used to apply my foundation. So I'm going to start first from here. Yeah, the one we put here too. Even though I don't have like a double chin or I'm not really full around this area, I still like to just put a little bit of contour there to just give me dimension basically. So I'm going to blend this now. I like to blend my contour upwards always. It gives you like a snatched or lifted look on your face. So just like this. Blend here as well. So you can see how easily my contour stick is blending. You can see how easily my contour is blending, and that's because of the contour stick I use. I use a contour stick that is easy to blend, that is really creamy. Don't use anything that is too hard or too dry. It's going to make it very difficult for you to blend your contour, especially if you're a beginner. So I'm going to blend my forehead as well. And just, go with very gentle motions. You can see how easily that blended out. Now you can see I have some dimension to my face. This is what it's looking like. You can see our contour line here. Our contour line here. And on the sides of my nose. For my concealer, I like to use a brush sometimes to start the blending and then go in with a sponge. So I already started blending here. So I'm going to blend. A brush just blends like quicker and gives more coverage, and then I can go over with my sponge to remove any lines or streaks and creases and everything like that. So I'm blending my forehead, and because I didn't use so much concealer, I don't have, like, as I'm blending, it's just blending exactly where I put it and not spreading around my face. Now if you use too much concealer, it's going to spread around your face and you don't want that. So I'm just blending. Here I put my concealer, and I'm going to blend the tip of my nose or the bridge of my nose very, very gently, just like this, in small blending motions. And then I'm going to blend here. I'm going to blend my under eye last because I like my under eyes to have a bit more coverage. So I like to leave the concealer there to sit for a little bit before I blend. But you can blend immediately though if you want. If you have a concealer that's like really thick or already has very good coverage, you can blend almost immediately. Now you can see while I'm blending, I'm spreading the concealer out a bit, but I'm not spreading it down. So I'm taking it up like this. This is going to give me a lifted effect also on my face. I'm just blending and bringing it upwards. You always want to blend everything up and not down. Blend everything up just like this. So you can see the difference now between this side and this side. I'm blending this upward. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. So now that this is properly blended out, I'm going to now go in with my damp sponge and use this to complete the rest of the blend. So just blend everything. And I'm also going to use this to like marry the concealer and contour, my highlights and contour together. So especially on my nose, because you don't want demarcations or harsh or sharp lines. So I'm just going like this. So I'm also going over my contour. Do cream blush. This is the point where you add cream blush now. I like to do cream blush. I recently got into cream blush and I've been loving it so much. This is a Sheglam one. I'm going to put this just here. I'm not using too much, by the way. And then I'm going to blend it out now. This blush is really subtle, so it just gives like that little hint of blush. Like it's there, but it's not really there, if you get what I mean. So, but you can see it. Yeah, so it just gives a little bit of color, not too much, just a little bit. So now that we are properly blended out, it is time to set our face. So to set my under eyes, I'm going to be using this loose setting powder from Nuban Beauty. This is what it looks like inside. It's pretty yellow. Yeah. So I'm just going to take some on the cover. I'm going to take my sponge, the same sponge I used in blending my under eyes. I'm going to blend one last time. And then I'm going to take some powder, just like this, dust off the excess and set. I don't like using too much powder to set because it just makes your face or your under eyes look cakey. So I like to use very little amounts of powder at a time. So take some dust and blend or press it into your face. I'm also going to set the bridge of my nose where I put the concealer, and everywhere I put concealer basically. So my chin, the top of my mouth, and just sets very well. So you just want to press the concealer in, just like that, and we are. Oops, I just poked my eyes. Oh, but we are set though. We are set. So now I like to set my whole face, including my contoured area, everywhere I put foundation, with my skin tone face powder. This is the one I'm going to be using. It's the Zikel Skinfit face powder. I'm going to take this and just set all around my face. This is going to give me more coverage and ensure my foundation doesn't move all day. So I'm just going to set lightly, just like this. Then to bring warmth to our face, since we already have depth and dimension on our face, I like to bring back warmth to my face, and I like to use a bronzer for that. So I'm going to be using this Emcosmetics sculpting powder bronzer. Now a bronzer is different from contour. Contours bring depth and definition. Bronzers bring warmth to your face. So this is a bronzer. It is very warm. A contour or a contour powder is going to be like more neutral, more cool toned, but a bronzer is going to be more warm toned. So I like to take this and just put this everywhere I did some contour. So I'm going to just do this here and bring it to my forehead as well to give me more warmth on my forehead. So just like this. The only place I really don't put this is my jawline because I feel like I don't need it. Now I can see the difference between this side of my face and this side. This side looks more warm. So I'm just going to repeat the same on this side as well. And I like to go really lightly with bronzers because if you do too much, you're going to end up looking orange and we don't want that, okay? So this is it. So because I'm going to do eyeshadow, I'm going to take some of this powder, and I've done my face already. I'm going to take some of the same powder I used in setting my under eyes, and I'm just going to put some of them underneath my eyes to catch any fallouts from my eyeshadow. So I'm not actually baking, I'm just putting this here to catch any fallouts I might get from my eyeshadow so it doesn't mess up the rest of my makeup. So I'm going to take a little blending brush and just dust off the powder and any fallouts I might have. Let's talk about the fact that I'm wearing two different colors of eyeshadow. I promise you I'm not much. I just recorded this eyeshadow tutorial, so you can check that out. I don't know if it's going to come before this video or after this video, but I'm going to do blush now. So this is the blush I'll be using. It's a blush from Glamgals. It is broken, but I really love it. This is like one of my favorite blushes ever. So I'm just going to take some and dust off the excess, and I'm going to apply this on the apples of my cheeks. So when you smile, Yeah, like this. You don't apply your blush here. You apply it on top, so here. Yeah, that's where you apply blush. So this is also part of the highlighting and contouring routine. Your blush application matters a lot. So you smile, apply it on top here. So almost like you're putting it on your under eyes, but you're not. Just like that, on top of the apples of your cheek. Then to complete our face totally, you need a highlighter. This is the last step in the contour and highlight routine. So this is the highlighter I'll be using. It is from Sigma Beauty. A little brush like this. Just take some, very, very pigmented. And I'm going to put this, you see, when you turn, this is a part of your face that light naturally hits. So on top of your blush, that is where you apply your highlighter. So just like this. You're going to see how, you can see how the light is picking it up. That is where you want your highlights to be. I don't like to go overboard with my highlighter because I've really been loving like the matte look, but I'm going to do it for you guys regardless because of this video. So I'm going to take some more, and on this side, I'm going to apply it just on where light naturally hits on your face. So you can put a little bit on your forehead if you want, and on your chin. Then for my nose, I like to use a smaller brush, so I'm just going to take it and I'm going to apply this on the tip of my nose, yeah, just like this, and then on the bridge, yeah, the bridge of my nose. So just like this. You guys, this is the end of the video. This is the look. This is our highlighted and contoured face. If you can get past my different colors of eyeshadows that I have on right now, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me down below in the comments. Make sure to like this video if you found it helpful, share to your friends, and subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.